Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Onside Punt. The schedule has been released, and today we are picking it apart. Joining me, as always, it's Holmy. How are we, my friend?
Hey, Kat, how are you, mate?
Oh, mate, I'm good. You gave me the giggles just before we started the show, so I'm feeling off balance.
Yeah, that's the way I plan. It's always to disrupt you when we get on the episode. Can I get him off script? Can I get him wandering around so he's as bad as me, so I sound a bit better, but hey, that's the game we play.
It is. It is. You're constantly toying with me. All right. Before we jump into this entire episode, Homie, just a late addition to what we're going to talk about. I was getting sent messages, links, and everything to some news that came in overnight on Australian TV that the MCC and the Victorian government are collaborating for a bid to get the first Australian regular season game to be held in Melbourne, your neck of the woods, Homie. They've suggested the Rams will likely play. What do you make of this?
Well, at first I told everyone to stop sending it to me because I didn't believe it because it was Channel 9's Tom Morrissey who released this story and he was saying that the MCC were in discussions. I was like, no, we were just talking to NFL Australia and they did not tell us. We asked the specific question. And
Charlotte wouldn't lie to us.
No, she wouldn't, but she did hold back by the reports. But no, there's direct conversations here happening. They obviously want out the best stadium in the world. So that's the MCG.
Oh, I heard
Sorry,
that.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sydney. Yeah, get those train lines sorted. Then you might get some games. But it's exciting. But they're talking. It's talk, Cad. That's a long way off. They're talking 25 to 26 season, October, obviously after the AFL Grand Final. It's a while away.
Yeah, I think it's got to be 2026 if it's going to happen because I know, and we'll talk about it, there's a 2025 international game that's already on the books for another country. So we'll see, but it did just seem to me, the reports I saw, just a lot of chatter, and I thought, the NFL, it's a long road to get to where we are. And so just because they've put a bid in, it is a great step that we've got people wanting it now, and it's a big call out, but I don't think we're anywhere near close to a deal.
And we're not going to get official notice until we're only just getting the 2024 season, which rolls into 2025. If it's that next season, we're not hearing for a very long time. No. So I'll put it to the side. Thanks everyone for sending it through. We've got it. All right. We've got it. It's in our inbox. And don't worry, we're going if we do. Don't worry, we will be. But I think we'll set it to the side and we'll worry about this schedule for now, Kat.
Definitely. And moving on to some more questionable news. The Giants, to celebrate 100 years as a club, have released some new uniforms, Homie. I just want to get your first impression. I don't know if anyone has seen these, but first impression in one word.
Century red. It should have stayed in the last century. This one, it is. The worst thing is when they pull parts from different eras, you're never getting a good outcome, are you? Because they've taken some from 1925,
pants
some
and socks from 1925, red and blues from 1933,
and then the headgear from 1938, and it does not look like headgear.
No,
it's you cannot make a helmet look like headgear. It doesn't work for me. But
it looks like a vintage county soccer team's outfit. It doesn't look menacing. It doesn't look cool retro. Like, there are some great retro fits out there, but this just doesn't hit it. And the Giants, you got to give your fans something to get excited about. Malik Neighbours can't be everything. And then you got to prove to the world this is what you're doing.
For the first time, they can get that jersey with the wide receiver on the back. And now they've got to get that jersey. And I think they might wait for the next season, I think, just to test it out a little bit. But unless you go in retro vibes, I think maybe leave that one at the old store, I reckon. No, don't check that one out.
Did you see Malik Neighbours' response to this? He was asked.
What did he say?
He was showing the jerseys and they're like, what do you think? And he's like, it's going to be kind of hard to look swag in that. It's like, yeah, brother.
That boy looks swag in anything. So if he's saying that, there's no good. But one team that has got the retro vibe right is the Broncos. They're bringing out their 1977 classic uniform this season. It will be a fan favourite. It is nice.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the teams who did play in quite ugly jerseys last year as well didn't do so well. I think it was the Bucks in their creamsicle jerseys, like tangerine. Well. That didn't look good. I think the Kelly Green was good for the Eagles, but obviously didn't go well for them towards the end of the season. The Lions, though, exciting news on their front.
Yeah, this is the biggest news of the jersey kit updates.
Because it looks good.
They're bringing back They're bringing back the black alternative strip. They've been hidden away since 2007, and I think they had a little side bet with the coach he had.
Yeah, they did. So I think it was the coach and the GM. I think he asked for these jerseys. Basically, they look fantastic, and the GM basically said, "We'll let you have them if you make it into the playoffs this year." And they did, so they get to bring it out. Deal made, deal done. So they're bringing them out this year, which is super exciting. And what a great claim for a massive, like the Lions fan that is the coach.
And they'll be rolling the block lettering from Barry Sanders' days.
Mm.
And they've got a few adjustments to the helmet, the face grid. So they will be looking very nice. So I think we might be getting a Lions jersey this year, Cad. What do you reckon?
Oh, I like that. I like that very much. I could get a Lions jersey in that. That'd be pretty cool.
But there's one more I could tempt you with, and that's the only other update on the uniforms, and that is the Texans. So they're rolling out 4 new versions of their kit from last year. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of alterations, just some little tweaks to it, but they're bringing out an all-red set. It's going to be basically their alternate strip, and it will be red, and red helmet. So it's going to be, look out, red rockets everywhere. So the Texans, they think they've got a run here, so they're bringing in as much merch as they can because they're selling up, I reckon, here, Cad.
Yeah, see, I think the Giants need to listen to the Lions and the Texans. Don't do your special jersey. I know you've done it for your 100th year, but don't do it until you have something to talk about in your football team other than the jerseys. Do it when the Lions have now succeeded. Do it when the Texans have now succeeded. The Giants, you need to do a lot more to put anything on.
So if I go anything of this, retro is for poor teams, new kid is for good teams. So Broncos, Giants, we might have to look at your schedule with a bit more detail.
Yeah. All right. Some more news out of the Giants that is actually exciting, I believe. They have been selected for the very first off-season Hard Knocks. So not the usual program that we're used to. This is covering the period from, I think, draft day effectively all the way up to when preseason kind of kicks off.
Would this mirror sort of the Jets, their one from last season? Would it be that?
It's actually, it's in the period before then. So
okay. Yeah.
What I think you're going to see a little bit different now is how they build a roster and what it's kind of like for the new players like Malik Neighbours, who's going to go from, I guess, being documented from signing his agreement to then how they build this team. So we're seeing the step before what we saw in every other Hard Knocks, which, I don't know, I'm kind of excited. You know, it's access we don't usually get, and I'm keen to see it. I think we're going to see, you know, obviously they're replacing Saquon Barkley. I'm assuming that's going to be a massive storyline. Malik, as we said, and Giants have been vehemently against having cameras in. And I liked this quote, homie, that ESPN reported that the co-owner John Mara once said about them being on Hard Knocks, "The announcement will come when I'm next to my father in the cemetery." So it's been a change of tune. I think the Giants now know that.
I don't think they get to decide. By all reports, the NFL tell you they're coming for Hard Knocks, and like the Jets didn't want it last year. The Lions didn't want it the year before. They've all had to do it. And it's whether you can break the curse. That is the problem, isn't it?
The Jets didn't think like, oh, geez, what if we have an embarrassing preseason? We're like, well, just wait till week 1, guys.
wait till week 1.
Those episodes will be on KO. They're generally a bit delayed, but they'll also be on KO and DAZN if you've got NFL Game Pass. All right, homie, shall we dive into the NFL schedule?
We better.
All right. So a ton of interesting stuff has fallen out of this schedule release, and feels like it's getting bigger and bigger each year, homie. Like I've heard some guys talking about it. Used to just come out in the paper, and now there's 4 days before there's the release of the first game. And then there's the release of this game, and now every team's got all this hype. It's becoming like the draft in that way. It's just overly. It's now the big show.
I'm trying to work out if it's obviously it's the entertaining times for this period. There's not a lot happening, is it? And is it because we're hyping the season to come, or we're hyping the sort of end of the the end of those sort of required things to have been done from rolled on from last season? Because now we're in that real gap between. No more announcements. There'll be some team lists, and then we're on our way. So
good time to start recording again, isn't it?
Yeah. Should we start an NFL podcast right now?
Right in the empty period. Well, it has spilled some big news. So before we dig in, let's go Chiefs schedule, homie. Now, the NFL has come out and they've admitted to factoring in Taylor Swift's tour dates to the NFL schedule, partly for scheduling their game so fans can attend the concert when she's in their city and then also go to an NFL game that night. So I guess that makes sense for crowd sharing. But also, in favor of having Taylor attend as many Chiefs games as possible. What's your take on this one, Holmes?
Oh, Taylor Gate.
Taylor Gate.
There'll be a full investigation. But why? They've got to do it, right?
Yeah.
She brought so much to the game last year. Why wouldn't you tailor it around her?
Tailor it very well done.
I did that.
Yeah.
I didn't even mean to, but I did it. But that's what they've done as well. So it's like, you got to get her there. She was entertaining. She's a big ticket. She gets a lot of fans in the house, and I'd be lining her up too.
Yeah, I think there's a fair amount of outrage, but generally anytime Taylor's mentioned in football or anywhere, some bloke's going to be annoyed about it. I think, ultimately it's about money. NFL has full rights to do whatever they want with their schedule, no matter the impact. But I think people get concerned when it's an external figure that influences the game. But Taylor's not external to the league anymore. She's brought more people in, new fans, a lot more female viewership, tons of money. If a schedule change accommodates that, then go for it. I think if it impacted fairness, I'd have an issue with it. But, there's no evidence of that at this point.
We don't even know if the Chiefs are going to be in that stadium next year. So why not just line it up for they're going to really dive back into that story, but we'll do that in a future episode. But, she's a big figure. She's probably the most famous person in the Western world at the moment.
Yeah.
I would say. And they've probably put so much money into Disney, all those other sort of aspects, trying to get the youth into the game.
Netflix.
And then they've just fallen on this trump card that's just bringing more exposure than they ever would have imagined or any marketing plan could have brought. And they'll keep rolling it until she says goodbye or she's had enough.
Of Travis.
There's always a chance, I
don't know. Maybe it's a green initiative from the NFL. Taylor gets spammed for her jet miles for a private jet. They just move the games a little bit closer to her.
That's
saving
clever,
some
actually.
CO2.
That's very good.
Yeah, maybe the NFL's a good guy after all.
I still wanted to send the jet to me and you pick us up and we'll come over.
That'd be nice.
That would be very nice. Private little run. Taylor,
the onside
please.
punch jet's in motion. We'll get there. Just going to need a little bit more time. All right, Homie, what have you got?
Well, when the schedule comes out, the main thing I look at is primetime games because I like to know who gets the slots, who they think are going to be the big teams and who they think are going to be the poor teams. And you can read into this a lot. So I'll go the other end first. So the big old donut goes to the Panthers this year.
Yes.
Surprise, surprise. Not even a single primetime game.
I believe they're the only team that doesn't have one. Is that true?
Yeah, only team. Only team with the donut.
Ooh.
I think on the second tier, you've got Colts, Patriots, Cardinals, and Titans all with one.
Yeah.
But I thought
they've also
and
thrown
Bears might have been able to be rolled. Like, give them one. Even we try to get them on in one episode as our feature team. Surely they could give them one.
I think the Patriots as well got like a consolation prize in prime time. I think they're on a doubleheader that's on at the same time. So they've squeezed them in there. And I think the other team that's playing at the same time is one of the top four or six teams. So, yeah, bugger Panthers. I think it's a little bit of a punishment because I don't think it's only at the team. I think the NFL's got to be pretty upset at how that organization has been running. I think it's a comment to them, get your game together and get your whole company together. So we can actually be proud of them.
Now, are they though? They're playing on the worst time, and they're not going to. The fans aren't going to come. The people aren't going to watch them. I don't know if they're going to get. They better get some wins because otherwise they're going to.
I did see something that said that the season tickets to the Panthers was cheaper or on par with how much it costs for NFL Game Pass for the year, I believe.
Oh.
So I think it was something. It's so cheap. So if you're ever in the States,
they're actually playing. That might be the one to go to.
Carolina is a very lovely place. If you're over in the States, you want to go see a couple games in a few weeks. You get to the Panthers, you'll be fine.
All right. Maybe I should. Maybe it's not as big a negative as we thought. The Panthers being
just making it more accessible. It's tough times on everybody.
So let me skip up to. So basically, from here, we're sort of like if you made the playoffs last year, you got bonuses. On the second tier, we've got Texans, Steelers, Buccaneers, Seahawks, Falcons, Browns. 4 games. Not bad. They deserve that. I
thought the Texans would get a little bit more.
I thought they would have too, but you've got to be happy with that. You're fresh. Then we go to the fivers: Chiefs, Bills, Packers, Lions, Bengals, Ravens, Eagles, Dolphins, Rams.
Wow.
Yep. Nothing to critique there.
Yep.
Top tier. Who we got, Cad? Give me one name. See if you can guess one.
Who would get the most primetime slot.
So there's 3 teams that get 6 primetime games.
Okay, Chiefs.
6 primetime games.
I'd say the Chiefs.
Nah, they were on the 5. I was too fast for you.
You were too fast for
Who
me.
did they play? Who do they play in the final?
49ers?
Bam.
Okay, that's one.
Popular team. The other most popular team in the NFL, Cowboys.
Yep, that makes sense. They bring in the most viewership. They bring in, their games are usually the most watched. Yep.
Get your rant alert ready, Cad.
I don't have a sound effect for it, but I'll find one.
Hit one. The Jets get 6. Did everyone forget what happened last season? They do. How is this possible? 6 primetime games for the Jets. It's like they've given them a mulligan and said, we're going to forget everything that happened last year. Oh, no other team lost a quarterback and still made the finals. Browns. Yeah, come on. And then they go and give the Jets 6 primetime games. I've had enough of this. I can't believe this. I really can't.
It's really strange because if you guys all cast your minds back, they did this exact same thing last year, but we lost Aaron in week 1. And we were all stuck with Monday games or Thursday games with the Jets seeing where we saw Zach Wilson play. And, it's tough. I think, with all the injuries, we had a lot of bummer games in primetime last year that needed to get flexed out but weren't because, you can't predict this. But come on, twice in 2 years?
But so many other teams had adversity last year and put performances up. The Jets just rolled over. And I'm like, they don't deserve this. And then it tells me that I'm supposed to care about the Jets again, which I'm angry about. Aaron Rodgers, he hasn't proven it to me yet. He hasn't proven it yet.
That's true. Since you've been paying attention, Aaron Rodgers has not been a good quarterback or a quarterback at all.
Yeah. So there's been a rant. Jets, not happy.
Look, they've taken a huge gamble here and they might get laughed out for it, but we will see. I know that they are going to an international game. So let's move over to those coming up. First one off the rank is pretty early. The first international game in Sao Paulo in Brazil. It's going to be the second game of the season. Packers versus Eagles, which great matchup for your first game in country. Bonus for us, though, I think it takes place our time. It's a Saturday at 10:15 a.m. So that's a win for the Aussies. We love
Saturday games. Yes. Oh, that's the best. We just need to get the pub to open up a bit earlier. The sports bar, Sporting Globe, we're talking to you.
Who we got coming into England, homie?
Yeah, we've got the 3 games in England this year. So we've got the Jets versus Vikings, which I reckon will be a cracker. So that's at Tottenham Stadium. Second game at Tottenham Stadium is the Jags. Of course, they're there. They're going to play the Bears.
The UK. Yeah.
I think that's a good matchup.
I think it's a good matchup.
Game.
Yeah.
And then they'll finish off at Wembley Stadium with the Patriots and the Jags. So that is the first 3 there.
I think UK fans are pretty keen because they've been Patriots fans for a long time, especially since the Tom Brady era. I think it's probably for a lot of countries who just saw the best team of the time. And the Patriots haven't played there in 10 years or something like that. So they're pretty excited.
And if Drake May is going pretty good, I think that'll be a nice matchup against the Jags. So that could be a cracker.
That is the schedule, as I know you're going to talk about later in the episode. There's a lot of ifs, Who's Aaron going to be playing for the Jets?
All narratives live in this period of the season, Cad. All narratives live.
Well, one of my favorite ones is international games go to Munich again this year. Now, I'm not sure what the German NFL Association did to deserve this. I don't know if they're paying reparations for previous country crimes. But they get the Giants versus the Panthers in their one singular international game. What have they done, homie? What a bummer. I don't know if I would go to this. I'd go. I wouldn't be excited about it.
If I was German, I would probably have a bit more of a rant, but I think I'd be more sad than be able to be angry. It's just like, you've lined up, you've got it out. The internet, it's a cruel place, but the comment section was actually quite delightful for this one. There was like, what have they done? Who have they hurt? They will never like NFL again. Like, what are you doing this? And, that's going to be a real train wreck. I already noted that as one of the train wrecks of the week.
Yeah.
And Paul Munich gets that one. So international travel and a train wreck.
Maybe, the Panthers, they say, look, you're not going to get a primetime game, but you get to go to Germany. That's, That's pretty good.
Travel. Work is
yeah.
travel, you
See
know?
the world.
Yeah, we'll give you
Just not
$125 a
the end
night.
zone.
You know, you can go eat out, you know? Pork knuckle for you. Beautiful. Delicious.
Okay, and then what we alluded to earlier in the episode, not for this year, but in 2025, a game has been slated to be played in Madrid in Spain, which I think that's incredible. If you're finding yourself in Europe in November next year, or October, September, I think when the season will be kicking off, schedule that in because I think it's one of my favorite countries, and it'd be cracker to see a game there.
I'm super interested to see who they're going to send because that would be interesting. I don't know what vibe they'll go. I'll be interested to see who they actually send.
It'll just be full of palms, like Spain is generally in the warmer months.
It'll be fun.
Yeah,
let's go. Better get my passport ready by the sounds of it. We've got so much travel this year.
So much travel to do, except not to Munich on 10th of November. That's what I'm keeping in mind. All right, Holby. Announcement came through from Netflix, of all people.
Yeah, I really like this one. So we've got an update that Netflix will be showing 2 of the Christmas games, which is exciting. So if you've got Netflix, you'll be able to watch these. And they're 2 good ones too. So you got Kansas City Chiefs and the Steelers. Yep. And the Ravens and the Texans. What 2 crackers that'll be on Christmas Day.
That's a massive one. Well, I think it's Boxing Day for us, right?
Oh, yeah. So their Christmas Day, sorry. I should have clarified that. But their Christmas game's our Boxing Day. Even better.
Put the cricket on your phone instead. Put the Boxing Day test on your phone. Yeah.
Just tell them you're driving somewhere else and stay home and watch them. Never done that before. Sorry.
She listens to this podcast. Eh?
Oh, yeah,
Come on.
I forgot that.
Come on, David. No, I think that's fantastic. And Netflix is, everyone generally has it. I'd be shocked if most people didn't have Netflix. You get access to these games. It's kind of the biggest struggle we have here in Australia to get new fans in. So look, you little Dusty, full of Christmas pud, go and settle into some NFL games. Pretty exciting. All right, homie. Looking at the schedule, there is a absolutely delicious board of games there, but I want to know, has anything particularly grabbed your eye?
Oh, I've penciled in. I've got a little list. Is that all right?
Yeah. Go
run through a couple.
Yeah.
Week 1, by the way, cracker. We got Baltimore Ravens versus Kansas City Chiefs. Light that up now. Yeah. That is brilliant. I can't wait for that matchup.
It's the AFC and the Ravens. Rematch. Yeah.
Oh, the Ravens. They got something to prove there. That will be a cracker. And we get to see
calling
how
it right
use
now.
a running back,
Oh, yeah. Little Derrick Henry running at the Chiefs. I'm calling it already. I'm calling it nice and early. Chiefs are going to lose again. Same thing happened last year. They versed the Lions. They lost. It's time for the Ravens to get a good win over the Chiefs.
I'll keep us in order, Kat. So then week 2, I've got Pittsburgh Steelers taking on Denver Broncos.
Oh, revenge game. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
If Russell Wilson wins the top job, let's be real.
And returns to Mile High. He just might be on the pine. That'd be even worse, wouldn't it?
It'd be even better if he's riding the bench at
Do you
that
reckon
game.
You reckon he was good enough to put it in the contract? Like, I must start game 2.
Have to play in Denver. I don't know. He hasn't had good experience playing there in the past. It might be a risk for the Steelers.
Have you got any, or you want me to keep going?
I've got one that's late in the slate, but you keep running.
All right. Week 3, Baltimore Ravens versus the Cowboys. Cross-conference opponents. 2 teams have only played each other 6 times in the history.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So, and the Ravens got them 5-1. So look out there.
Ooh,
that could be a real tasty one with Dak Prescott and Lamar Jackson facing up. They've never played each other before.
Wow.
They've never played.
That's crazy to me. Yeah,
isn't it weird? It is weird when you start to look at these things that the potential stars have never played each other.
Yeah,
I just think it's crazy. You want to see a train wreck again?
I'd love to see one. What's your train record for the year? Is it coming up?
Carolina Panthers versus Chicago Bears. Now, week 5. This could be a train wreck for either way. If the Panthers beat the Bears, that will not be good.
Or did the Chicago show what you do with a number 1 pick?
Yeah, and Carolina Panthers might already be out of contention at this point. So week 5, there's my train wreck of the season, that one potentially.
I really like that. Okay, my one is this one in week 12, homie. Baltimore Ravens at the LA Chargers playing SoFi. So that's Harbaugh versus Harbaugh.
Oh.
And a little coaching matchup, which I'm really excited for. But most excitedly, I didn't tell you this off air, but I have secured tickets to go to this game.
Get out.
So I will be there. I didn't even notice it was Harbaugh versus Harbaugh until we started talking.
Get.
Yes.
Oh, get me amongst that. So you'll be face FaceTiming me, right?
Yeah. Just me, Justin Herbert, yourself. We can get it going.
Oh, that's magical. Oh, what a great game that'll be.
That'll be a good one. The other one I've got tickets to, I think it's the next week, is Texans at Cowboys, which I guess is definitely my other highlight of the year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cad.
Yep. I put the money all into the Chargers one, so I'm way up the back for the
So just during that period, everyone just send a welfare check to me because I'll be super sad. That's awesome, man. I can't wait for that. That's brilliant.
Thanks,
so
buddy.
I'm going to deflect from that and go straight over the top because I don't want to. That's too good a news. I'm going to go week 14. The Falcons versus the Vikings. Obviously, the return of Kirk Cousins. That will be nice one there.
I really like that one. Yeah.
And I'll finish us off with what could be old and new. Week 16, Texans versus the Chiefs. Mahomes versus CJ Stroud.
That's the game I'm waiting for.
That could be good.
Yeah, like Texans, Ravens, or Chiefs, Texans. Like you just want to see the CJ. He's now established himself as I'm the new up and comer. Like anyone who thought they were
that.
we're coming.
That's what we all want by week 16, that they're established. But there's a lot of season between that, isn't there?
There is, and in the AFC, we're looking at Homie and I specifically, especially in the AFC West, we're looking at someone to attack the Chiefs and drop that win-loss record, and that's what we want the Texans and the Ravens to do. So I think we're instantly massive fans of those from last season. We're just going to push for them to go even harder this year.
Well, should we have a little break and then jump into who's got it the toughest, Cad?
Good question. Let's do it. All right, homie, one thing I actually forgot to put in that earlier segment that we haven't discussed, I think there's big news that we need to discuss, is the Jets' first game of the season. Week one.
What do we got?
We got week one. If this sounds familiar, let me know.
Yes.
Week one, Aaron Rodgers is starting on Monday Night Football, same as last year, against the 49ers, different from last year. However, the player that broke his ankle is now on the 49ers. So he's playing the same game in the same time against the guy who did it to him last time.
Same stadium?
I don't know, actually, if it is.
Because they say that stadium is a part of the problem as well. So,
oh, really?
They were talking about the amount of injuries that stadium had last year. And so I think a lot of them, I'll have to bring it up for a note. Maybe
must have to do with the turf, maybe, or something like that.
I think it's Astro. Turf. And you've got both teams play their Giants and the Jets. But apparently, the surface they got a little bit of a theory that it's not a part of it as well. So if it's the same stadium. Lightning.
I just think the NFL gods are cruel. They just want the Jets.
No wonder they got prime time then.
Yeah, well, why do you put them in prime time so many times when you've given them the exact same scenario they failed in last time?
Oh, that would be really uncomfortable, wouldn't it? Rolling back in.
Well, you know that shot of Aaron Rodgers running into the stadium with the American flag. Will they do it again? Like, will it look identical?
Will they roll the white kid as well? Like, are they gonna?
No, you got to get rid of all that voodoo. I think that's when he
he's that kind of guy. He would have that kind of voodoo vibes, I reckon too.
Oh, he's got his crystals. He'll be fine. Okay, we're talking about the schedules now. People online, pundits, analysts, journalists from the NFL say schedules are harder or easier based on a couple of things. Generally, how successful the team you versed was last year, how many times you're away from home consecutively, bye weeks, that type of thing. Homie, seems like a lot of info here to spit out. What do you think about this? Do you think how accurate really is this?
I really struggle to think how they can measure the schedule based on previous years. Yeah. So they obviously, I do like to go to this. So there's a scoring system they have for each team's schedule. And that's the thing I like to have a look at just for my own stupid curiosity. I don't actually trust it at all, but I think it's great. And it's based on your win-loss ratio of 2023. We already know 4 of the teams that made the playoffs are not going to make it again. That is going to happen. So how do they understand that it's going to be harder? How do they know each division is going to be harder? But they've told me who's got it the toughest. The Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, Green Bay Packers, and the Texans. All over 500 is the point system. 0.500. I don't really get it, but 0.500 is scary, apparently. So anything above it, you're having a tough season. So they're the top 5 according to the NFL based on 2023 results.
It's an interesting one, like because all the teams we know from last year have dramatically changed, except for a few of them. We've also got a ton of influx of rookie QBs, and also you're assessing it on teams last year that had many injuries throughout it. So I don't know how they're doing it, but I guess it's a law of averages here. But the Falcons last year, homie, they demonstrated you can't take advantage of an easy year because they had the easiest slate last year, and their coaching and their general play was in turmoil. It's no guarantee, but I do think it is interesting to see how your team is actually going to move around and what they've got ahead of them, how they're going to plan for the season.
Because it doesn't factor in things like if you're going to the states that have the snow later in the season, doesn't factor that in.
No.
Doesn't factor in if Carolina Panthers are in your division. Doesn't factor that in. It kind of does, but apparently they, according to the NFL, they have the third easiest. They have the third easiest schedule.
Yeah.
They are the easy schedule. You cannot tell me that they have an easy schedule. They are the easy schedule. So don't tell me that.
Well, it's funny. So the Falcons again this year are set up to have no excuses. They versed the Panthers twice, as you've keenly hit on. But it's because of their division that they're in. And I think this leads me to one I didn't see slated as the easier ones on a few sites, and are ranking top 10 easiest schedules. That's the Chiefs. Now, the AFC West, which they're in, has the Chargers with a brand new coach, not a great track record, unfortunately for our boys. Broncos with a rookie QB and zero hype, and the Raiders, who do have a successful QB, but also have a new coach and generally sink below expectations in recent seasons. So that's just the division they're in that they verse twice, each team. Now, every team also gets a division in another conference that they verse, and the Chiefs got the NFC South, homie. That's the Saints, the Falcons, the Bucks, and the Panthers, the one we just grinded on commenting on and reviewing last year. That's got the Panthers in it. That's an easy 2 wins for the Chiefs, or an easy win for the Chiefs. The Bucks, the Falcons, the Saints, they can take all of these teams, and it's not like they're just a middling team. It's the Chiefs. They're the best team there consistently.
The funny thing is the Chiefs didn't have a great regular season. So statistically, having them in your division makes it an easier division, right?
Yeah.
How's that possible? How's that possible? I think it's really when I look at these, it's like the conference is the important thing. Do you have 3 strong teams? Because you're in trouble if you have 3 strong teams. 2, you can kind of get through. That's where it's like the basis of it. And I think,
that's why we know the AFC is tougher than the NFC when it comes to the playoff bracket right at this time. The couple of middling teams in the NFC get through. Look, one of them from the NFC South always gets through. They have to. So that's a little bit easier. Maybe the AFC South is a similar one here, but I don't know how the Chiefs getting away with this again. The strongest team gets the weakest divisions to play.
It is interesting, but take us to who's got the tougher of it, Kat? Who do you think's got the tougher for you?
Okay. What I've got here is the Steelers, and they reportedly do have one of the toughest schedules. Key reason for this one, homie, they don't verse a divisional opponent until week 11, which is really late. So they crammed in every divisional game into their last 8 weeks. So it's 6 games in one of the most successful divisions in the league, the AFC North. Every single team had a score that could have gotten them into the playoffs. So 3 of their teams did go into the playoffs. The 4th being the Bengals, who were injured but still had a higher win-loss margin than the Bucks, who got in their playoff division. The other 2 games they've got, one's against Philly and the Chiefs. So that's their last 8 weeks. Their entire division and the Philly and the Chiefs.
Oh, that's
brutal. So you got to figure out who your quarterback is.
No wonder they got 2 quarterbacks, eh?
One for one half of the season, one for the second.
Yeah, why not? Park them, get the rest of them on, get the next one on. That might be what they're thinking when they did that.
It might be. And here's the other one I actually was interested in, because the Browns, if you look at their opponents' 2023 records, Cleveland has the most difficult slate. So they're going up against the best win-loss records of last year. The NFL put an article out and showed what happens to the teams that faced this schedule over the past 7 seasons. Only 2 made the wildcard rounds to lose, and the rest missed the playoffs and had under 10 wins in the season.
So you tell me the NFL scored their own schedule and said, "You've got no chance, Browns." Is that what they've said?
Yeah.
Well, so you gave them that schedule. What are you thinking?
Well, it's an NFL reporter, so I don't know. They've got to be,
okay.
a little bit of a cat. The NFL didn't just go, "Ha, look what we did to the Browns."
Look at this.
It's a pretty rough one on the Steelers and Browns. So, they're not high teams. I'd like to see the best teams have a tougher schedule, but that's just me.
Yeah, there is a really interesting way how they do this schedule, and maybe we'll jump into it on an offside or DM me and I'll send you a little documentary you can watch on it, because it is a real interesting vibe how they do it. Yeah. And I don't think they always stack it up.
No. Well, you got to factor in Taylor, come on.
Yeah.
Can't have it always.
He's exploded again. This is a conspiracy now, isn't it?
It is. It is feeding a lot of the NFL is rigged haters out there in the world.
All right, Kat, off the back of that, one of the most entertaining parts of this NFL season is the release of the schedules. I don't mean the schedule in whole. I mean the teams. Every 32 teams releasing their schedule and doing a little, how would you say, video, a little mock, a little ad. Different vibes, a little ad. Yeah, a little ad. Yeah, get their fans pumped. I do enjoy this. This is probably my favorite part. And there's one thing we can bank on. The Chargers, they might not win anything this season, but they're going to win this. This is the best thing they do. It's way too early, but we always deliver, and they've delivered again. Have you checked it out, Kat?
I have, and I loved this from the Chargers. They did an amazing one last year as well that was in full anime, if you remember that one. It was an incredible one. I did write this to one of my mates being a Raiders fan when the Chargers were throwing shade at the Raiders, and he says, "Oh, you think you're that good, huh?" And I said, "Well, everyone knows the best thing about our team is our social media department. They make up for what we lack in trophies, titles, and success."
We got it. They entertain us. That's what their Chargers do. They entertain us. And what they created this year was a set in the world of The Sims. And I thought it was great. Life simulation video game, if you haven't heard of it.
Yeah, surely you know The Sims, everyone. Yeah.
Come on, get with it. But they created little characters and they control their lives running through objectives and tasks. That's what it's about. And the Chargers, they've made a beauty here, Cad. Perfection.
The way this video starts off was the classic hobby of any kid who played The Sims, which was put all your Sims in a pool and then take the ladder out to watch them all drown, which is a sadistic thing that I guarantee nearly every kid who played The Sims has done. They started the video while doing this to every Sim that just had a color of the jersey that we were versing this season, and immediately starts the video off by drowning all of our opponents.
They didn't stop there either. They dissed Taylor Swift. That's a dangerous vibe to do. You know?
Watch out, Chargers.
Yep. And or putting old Harrison Butker in the kitchen
where he belongs.
Deserves, Cad.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
But who are the others that caught your eye?
One of my favorite ones was the Bills ones, personally. Niche reference from the Bills here. They did, I think, one of the opening scenes of Parks and Rec with Andy, who's played by Chris Pratt, and it's basically Josh Allen living in a hole or a ditch in the construction site across the road from the Bills. He's a great actor. I put Josh into some comedies. He was fantastic.
He's naturally hilarious, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like he's just got you believe that he lived there. Like,
he looks a lot like Chris Pratt at that time as well.
Yeah, obviously. True. That is a benefit, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed that one. The Eagles one was a cracker as well, where they did the psych evaluations, I believe, for each of their fans.
Yeah, I really enjoyed these. So let me to play a little bit in the background here.
Tell me what comes to mind.
What is a Buccaneer?
Some kind of pirate, I think.
Why not just be the Pirates?
Because there's a baseball team called the Pirates.
There's a baseball team called the Giants, Doc. What are we talking about here?
Just there's a little snippet for you. Go watch the full thing. It is a cracker. It was probably, I really enjoyed that one. It was great. I was going to give an honorable mention to the Broncos when they rolled out Lewis Hamilton, but then I realized he isn't a part owner.
He is, yeah.
You're scrapped. You're just scrapped. But the other one I actually really enjoyed was the Cowboys. I don't know if you caught this one, but they randomly FaceTime people of the other teams, famous fans of the other team, and it's basically them just sitting in a room and they don't speak. It was them, their mascot, other quite famous people, the owner was there.
Yeah, okay, Jerry,
it's a good watch. Go check that one out as well.
Everyone's just trying to keep up with the Chargers for once.
Yeah.
We're leading the pack.
Yeah, and I think they thought the Chargers were going to do another anime. No, mix it up. Sims it is.
There was one I did see on the Chargers site. I thought they'd done enough with the Sims, but then they actually put a post up on Instagram, and I think they must do this every year, but they compared each team to a different flavor of Pop-Tarts.
I missed this one.
Yeah, so they've got a couple of different flavors for everyone, but I mainly landed on the Raiders flavor, which was Pop-Tarts flavor garbage.
Oh, you can't be wrong though.
Not even being creative there, Chargers. Just
They're just straight out. Maybe I could get a job in the Chargers media with that kind of lowbrow comedy.
It's just petty. It's at the end of the day, it's petty.
Tom Petty's fine. Tom Petty's fine. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap of this NFL schedule. Looking forward to season 2024. Some great matchups there and some exciting videos for you to go watch, all those fans who listen in. We better remind you, if you're interested in the NFL Academy and registering, obviously, for males 12 to 18, make sure you jump onto the NFL Academy website and register your interest. Those training camps are coming up, Kat.
Yeah, we got Gold Coast on Saturday, 29th of June, and Sydney, Saturday, 6th of July. Sign up if you guys are remote as well and you can't get to the physical camp yourselves. You can always submit an online registration. We can take a bit of a video and some footage. So jump on the website to find out more about that. It's going to be a pretty exciting opportunity. So if you want to find out more as well, go back to that first episode if you haven't heard it and listen to Charlotte discuss what they've got planned for these NFL Academy training camps because it's going to be huge. Something we're trialing at the moment is to put our recordings on YouTube. So we are filming them at the moment. You can find us Onside Punt up there. We're not sure if they're going to be consistent. We're not sure if they're going to be forever, homie. But we started putting a video up there. If you enjoy it, let us know. And we're going to keep trying to do that, at least in the off season, homie, because we run out a bit of time, 2 shows a week.
Yeah, and I don't think you need to see this mug when we're getting to the regular season and we're recording at 5 a.m.
You're very handsome when you record, David. It's okay.
Yeah, always. A lot of yawning. There's a lot of yawning. But we'll edit those out, just to make it clean. But yeah, give us some feedback. We love hearing feedback. Anything as well. Even if you've got an opinion, send it through. We'd love to hear it and put it on the show. Obviously, it's a bit early for opinions, but we'll take anything you send it through.
We're giving them. We may as well take it.
We've got more coming too.
We've got more coming. All right. That's a wrap. Thanks, everybody. And we'll catch you next time. See you, homie.
See you, mate.